Welcome to It's Post Time, an interview series focusing on the vital thoroughbred industry in Maryland, presented by the Maryland Thoroughbred Partnership.
Hi, everybody. This is David Nevins for City Biz, and welcome to our program today. And our guest today is David Wade, and he is the general manager of Northview Stallion Station. David, welcome to our program.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. So Northview Stallion Station, let me just assume for the moment that not all of our viewers are familiar with that. Tell us a little bit about what you do and the basically what is Northview Stallion Station for the viewers who don't know.
So Northview Stallion Station is the largest breeding farm in the Mid-Atlantic region. We currently stand 8 stallions there. People from Maryland and a lot of the surrounding states send their brood mares to us to breed our stallions and get the resulting foals either to race or to sell. It was a farm that was founded back in the late 80s by Richard Golden and Alaire DuPont and Tom Bowman. And we have continued to operate since then. Alaire DuPont has passed away, Richard Golden has passed away, but the farm is currently being operated by Richard Golden's children, which is Mike Golden and Lisa Hofstetter.
Yeah, so so that's a fascinating business. And before I ask you really to just talk about the importance of what you do to the state of Maryland and the thoroughbred industry in general, David, how does one get into this field? How did you get into the horse business and work your way up to running the station?
So that's a book in itself.
I'm sure.
I did not grow up in the horse industry. I was attending University of Maryland. In fact, when I was younger, I was allergic to horses and really didn't have anything to do with them. I grew up in the suburbs close to Laurel, Maryland, in a town called Savage. So I changed my major at University of Maryland and was a business major. And I started at a Montgomery Ward store in Laurel. And the manager of my department said I needed to get outside, and she had taken up a job cleaning stalls at Columbia Horse Center and said I should get out there with her on weekends, but I was allergic to horses. She said, maybe you've outgrown your allergies. So I gave it a shot. I enjoyed it. So I changed my major in school and went into an individual studies program, combined business management with animal sciences. And I took every course that they had that had anything to do with horses. And then upon graduation in 1983, I went to work at a small breeding farm that had a training track. And it was there that I met my wife and a couple of people that still work with me today. And then at a wedding, I ran into Jim Ryan, who had Rye Hill Farm in Mount Airy, Maryland, and he offered me a job. I went to work there and stayed there for about 2 years, applied for a job with Richard Golden at his private Sycamore Hall farm, and came and managed that farm and then moved into Northview, and I currently do both farms.
Yeah, I would have guessed that it just seems to me that the overwhelming majority of people who are in the thoroughbred industry in the state of Maryland and probably everywhere, that so many of them are born into it, right? It's their father or their mother and their grandparents and great grandparents, but not the case. Obviously, not the case with you. So, David, talk a little bit about you've had a lot of experience with the thoroughbred industry in the state of Maryland. You've been involved with horses that probably some of our viewers will recognize the names of, Northern Dancer for one. So tell us again a little bit about your history in the business and some of the things that our viewers should know about thoroughbred racing and the thoroughbred industry in the state of Maryland.
So when Richard Golden and Mrs. DuPont and Tom Bowman started Northview, they bought the property of Winfield's Farm, which stood Northern Dancer. And Northern Dancer was probably the most famous and probably the most prolific stallion in the world at the time, and maybe ever. Stallions typically will produce 3% stakes winners, and stakes races are the highest level of racing that we try to achieve. 3% nationally is what the average is. Northern Dancer produced 20%, which is something that nobody else has really come that close to, at least not in this country. And so he was standing at Winfield's farm, and Winfield's, I don't want to say the word went under, but they went out of business. And Mrs. DuPont and Tom Bone and Mr. Golden bought the properties up so that they wouldn't get developed. And they opened up Northview Stallion Station on that property. Northern Dancer stayed with us for about another year and a half before he passed away. Winfield's had prepared a casket, a horse-sized casket for him, that when he died, he would be shipped up to Canada, where the Taylor family was located, so he could be buried. But we still have that stall there, and we've had some of our better stallions in it. Currently, Great Notion is in that stall. But we took a couple of the stallions that Winfield's left when they decided that they were going to go out of business, Two Punch being one of them, and added to that some horses that have become very good Maryland and regional stallions, such as Polish Numbers, Not for Love. Currently, we've got Great Notion there, who might be the best stallion outside of Kentucky.
Interesting. And I think I saw that it was recently announced that Post Time, which is a Maryland bred star, if you will, I think a horse that has earnings of, correct me if I'm wrong, about $1.5 million, will retire upon the end of his racing career to Northview Stallion Station. Is that correct?
That's correct, and we're very excited about it. He's a horse that's a Maryland bred horse. He was trained in Maryland. He was ridden by a Maryland jockey. He had a Maryland owner, Hillwood Stables, which is Mrs. Ellen Charles. He was purchased out of a Maryland sale. He started his racing career in Maryland. He won 8 of his first 9 starts here. He's run 18 times and finished first, second, or third 17 of those 18 times. As I said earlier, that stakes racing is the highest level we have, but within stakes racing, there are the elite horses run in what are called grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3 stake races, grade 1 being the highest. That would include what a lot of our listeners would relate to as the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. And he won the grade 2 races. He won grade 3 race. He was second in 2 grade 1 races, one of which was the Breeders' Cup Mile, one of the top races in the country. And he beat, well, he didn't win a grade 1 himself. He beat several horses that had won grade 1 races. And he's going to run, we think, probably one more time before he's retired to stud here. So he has a pretty good shot at surpassing that $1.5 million mark.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And so let me ask you this, David. You've been involved in the thoroughbred industry in the state of Maryland for 40 plus years, if I got my math right from listening to you. Would you say are you optimistic about the future of the thoroughbred industry in the state of Maryland? And just sensing your enthusiasm as we've been talking, assuming that's a yes, what do we have to look forward to? Why so?
I've got to be enthusiastic about it because I'm too old to change jobs right now. So yeah, I think a lot of things are on the horizon with Pimlico being rebuilt, with a training center coming. I think we've got a lot to look forward to in Maryland. The the racing has been put into the hands of the state now. We've got a good group that are making up what is called the Maryland Jockey Club that's going to be in charge of racing. The board of directors is highly qualified and they've got a lot of good ideas for what we can do in the future. So yeah, I'm very optimistic that we're headed in the right direction. The challenge is going to be, and something that I've talked to people about before, when you get a new facility like we're going to have at Pimlico, the Baltimore Orioles got a new facility once. You know, they had Memorial Stadium that had a team that wasn't doing real well, but when they got a new facility in Oriole Park at Camden Yards, they had the same team, but all of a sudden they were selling out games. And a lot of that was due to the fact that it was new. There was a lot of ways to incorporate the fan base, and people had a good time coming. And that's what's going to happen at Pimlico. Our challenge is going to be to keep that new fan base that's going to come out to try out the new facility.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, and I know, having spoken to some folks involved in the Jockey Club, as you noted, which will oversee Pimlico and ultimately the Preakness. That yeah, it's Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Has been great for Baltimore, great for Maryland. The Orioles themselves have had, both good years and bad years there. And so hopefully the new track and the new training facility too will really go a long way to enhancing the image and the reputation and the interest in thoroughbred racing in Maryland. Would that be correct?
I think so, and we've got a governor who is behind the industry right now, and some of the key legislators, and it's obviously it's going to be in their best interest since they've kind of been behind this to make sure that this doesn't fail, and so that puts us in a good position politically. So now it's going to be up to us to make sure that it works.
David, before I let you go, because you're in a job as the general manager of Northview Stallion Station. Most people just don't know a lot about such a place and what you do. You have any interesting stories that you can share with us that would be of general interest to our viewers? Some funny things or interesting things or positive things that have occurred at the farm?
Well, fortunately, I don't have any funny things because that would probably not go over real well. But we've had open houses at the farm. We've had open houses that are available for the public to come out. We've had open houses that are there for our fan base and those that are there for our clients. And we're going to be having another one of these in January once post time gets there. And it's a type of thing where if you don't know what goes on at a breeding farm, I would encourage people to come on out, make yourselves known, introduce yourselves, and maybe you'll get hooked into this business like the rest of us have.
Well, I think that's a good idea, and I would encourage our viewers to. I assume you can go online and take a look at Northview Stallion Station, right?
NorthviewStallions.com, Northview Stallions plural. And we don't have anything on there currently about an open house because it's not scheduled, but I'm anticipating it being sometime in the first 2 weeks of January. We have to wait for post time to arrive. And you can go on there, look around, see the other stallions we stand there, and some of their progeny and see what their stud fees are and, maybe catch the bug.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I look forward to visiting myself, David, and I want to thank you for your time today. Our conversation has been fascinating.
Thank you, David. I really appreciate it.
Our pleasure, indeed. This is David Nevins for City Biz, and our guest today has been David Wade. He is the general manager of Northview Stallion Station. Check them out online. And as David noted, waiting till January, give them a call and pay them a visit, and you might see another great horse there post time. David, again, thanks for your time.
Thank you.